It's time for Net at Night, episode 161. I am blessed not only by, of course, the beautiful and talented Amber MacArthur, but yet another geek goddess joins us from the Guild, Felicia Day, coming up next on Net at Night. Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Audio bandwidth for Net at Night is provided by Winamp. Subscribe to Net at Night and all your favorite podcasts with the ultimate media player. Download it for free at winamp.com. Video bandwidth for Net at Night is provided by Cashfly at CACHEFLY.com. It's time for Net at Night with Amber MacArthur and Leo Laporte. Episode 161, recorded July 27th, 2010. Felicia Day. Net at Night is brought to you by GoToMeeting. Improve your conference calls and keep everyone on the same page when you share your screen with GoToMeeting. For your free 30-day trial, visit gotomeeting.com/night. And by Squarespace.com, the fast and easy way to publish a high-quality website or blog. For a free trial and 10% off your new account, go to squarespace.com/night. It's time for Net at Night from Petaluma, California. I'm Leo Laporte.
And from Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, Canada, I'm Amber MacArthur.
She's still in the what do you call it? The Maritimes? Is that where you are?
Yes. Leo, you are so good at geography. It is the Maritimes. It is not Atlantic Canada because that would include Newfoundland.
I knew that.
Canadians can't figure that out.
No Newfoundland involved. So Newfoundland is not technically in the Maritimes.
It is not. It is part of Atlantic Canada, but not in the Maritimes. So the Maritimes are New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and Nova Scotia.
I'm just teasing you now.
Leo, you have a ton of fans here, you know.
In PEI?
Oh my gosh, you have so many fans. Leo, I went down, my mom was booking a room for some people coming in to visit at this inn called the Harbor Heritage House Inn. And the guy behind the desk, I literally sat and had a conversation with him. His name is Mike. And I talked to him for about 20 minutes. He was a huge call for help and Screensavers fan. He is just, you know, follows everything that you do. And I meet people all the time. There's a guy who works at a radio station here who's a big fan of yours. So I said I would try to convince you to come here one day.
There's two. I'd love to go to PEI. That's where Anne of Green Gables took place.
It is.
And the most recent Regis and Kelly.
It's Regis and Kelly first, and then Leo Laporte, and then our lives are complete.
Yeah. No, I actually really want to go. It looked so beautiful on TV. It really is. I've always wanted to go there. And I eat PEI oysters whenever I have a chance. So I mean, there you go.
Hey. You got to get out here.
Hey, I'm so excited. I don't know, we're burying the lead here talking about this because we have a guest that, I don't know about you, but I am so excited. I guess I might have met her, but I'm going to be a little bit of a fanboy here.
I'm a bit of a fangirl of hers, so don't worry.
Felicia Day is coming on the show.
She is coming on the show, and she is just an amazingly talented person, an internet superstar, and she's done so much with her web series, The Guild. It's only been around for 3 years. It feels like a lot longer than that.
Sure does, yeah.
I think it has 60 million views already online, and a great partnership with Microsoft and Xbox Live, and just really a model of what can be done online. And she also kind of works in television as well, I think in movies as well. So she really has participated in all of these different platforms. So it's going to be super exciting to have her on because she is so busy.
She was, of course, she was on Buffy. She was Vi, but she's also did the Dr. Horrible sing-along blog, which was so good.
I know.
I loved that so much. But I think it's interesting because here's somebody who's a working actor, a true professional, and who said, look, let's do something on the net that's good, but geeky. And the Guild is just a phenomenon.
It really is. And aside from that, she's done a couple of videos now to promote the Guild, and we're going to show one and talk about it later on to promote season 4. But if you remember last year, we talked about Do You Want to Date My Avatar, which was an unbelievable music video. She looked beautiful as always in the video. She sang in the video. And, you know, when I say she's talented, I mean, she truly is unbelievably talented. And we could probably gush and go on forever about her.
Let's not.
She has so many
We'll
great
just
skills.
get her on as soon as we can. Now, she's just coming off Comic-Con, where she probably had to talk nonstop. So we're not going to put her through the ringer here. We're not going to grill her. We'll give her a few minutes, but we got to be gentle with Felicia's voice. Did you know maybe she could bring her violin? I didn't know this, but she got into Juilliard. She didn't go, but she got into Juilliard for violin.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
And operatic singing. She's a very good singer. You could tell that in Dr. Horrible. Amazing person. So we'll talk to Felicia Day in just a little bit. But before we do, we have a few links to talk about. Mashable is,
I know,
talk about age, 5 years old.
I know there are lots of birthdays, Leo. Mashable is 5 years old, and I just read a post on Mashable about this birthday celebration saying that Pete Cashmore had started the site in his bedroom in Scotland 5 years ago, and it was just a tiny little thing, and now it's exploded. It has now, I guess in 2007, actually, had 4 million monthly page views.
Wow.
And it's grown a lot. They have a full-time staff of 30 people, and I see their content everywhere from CNN to other smaller blogs online, and that, again, another huge success story of a site that was really started literally in a guy's bedroom.
He was 19. I mean,
that is even amazing.
He was a teenager when he started this. And,
yeah,
it's, I would say, I don't know about page views wise, but at least in my mind, in terms of authority, it is at least the equal of TechCrunch. It's the only other competition really for that Web 2.0 space.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. And I find my habits really shifting. I mean, TechCrunch used to be the #1 place that I went to get technology news, but now I definitely have shifted over into reading Mashable more often. Obviously, that's because
I love it.
Yeah, there's so much great content there. They talk a lot about social media as well, and they really talk about everything. And they're so timely. Their posts are well written, and they're just churning out all of this great content on a regular basis. So I don't know what I would do. I mean, it's probably the one site that I can say I go to a couple of times a day just to see updates. So congratulations to them, and hopefully, we should get Pete on the show.
Oh, we get Pete. Pete's moving to San Francisco. He and Lisa Bettany are moving to San Francisco, so we'll get them. Well, Lisa's going to be on a lot more, I think, and I have a feeling we'll see more Pete as well.
That's great. I read that online somewhere that she was moving to San Francisco. So you've taken another Canadian.
Another one. We're taking them one by one. We're going to drain you dry. There'll be no more brains left in Canada.
Seriously.
We've been trying. People have been courting you to come to the States for a long time. In fact, you lived here for a little while, right?
I know. I think I did things sort of in an opposite manner. So right out of school, I moved to the U.S., to San Francisco for 3 years and Boston for 1 year, and then came back to Canada. So I feel like I did my stint there. And I have too many ex-boyfriends in San Francisco, so I'm happy where I am. No, I really do.
I would like to make the record very clear. I'm not one of them.
No.
I do know at least 2 of them. So
yeah, no. So I mean, they're all very nice and everything, but I feel like
You're so honest, Amber. I love that.
I know, it's true though. It just, it's one of those things where I had a couple of relationships out there which were fine and fun and everything, but that my experience in San Francisco was definitely with those people, and it's nice to move on, I suppose. Here, let's move on.
Let's move on. Enough of that. This kind of came as a shocker. In fact, the people on the radio, I do a regular radio bit every Tuesday morning on KGO in San Francisco, and they asked me about this, which shows you how much what would normally be kind of backroom internet dealings have become mainstream news. Yahoo in Japan, Yahoo US has a deal with Microsoft for its search. It uses Bing. Mm-hmm. In Japan, they've signed a deal with the Google.
I know. I thought this was kind of funny news because I've done some work for Yahoo, and they're fierce competitors with Google. So I was kind of surprised to read this headline. So they'll be using Google search, and I think it made a little bit more sense when I read more about it and understood that the Yahoo in Japan is not entirely owned by Yahoo Incorporated. So
it's like a different company.
Yeah, it is like a different company. So they have more liberty to kind of do what they want. So a big surprise and kind of an interesting headline when you see it, because you don't see that too often. You don't see those two names kind of paired together as working together. So it should be kind of neat to see what happens there.
That Yahoo used Google search for a long time.
I know that.
A few years ago. Am I wrong, chat room? Didn't Yahoo use Google for its search for a couple of years, and then they stopped, went back to Yahoo native search, and then they went to Microsoft after that. I believe that's the case. Yes, they're saying I'm correct. Either that or Patrick Stewart is a. They're saying yes to the fact that Patrick Stewart is a British knight. It's one of the other. Sometimes in the chat room, there's many conversations going on, and I don't know which one they're in. Yes, no, it was Google. No, now Web6923 says no.
No,
it is the case, as I remember, that both Patrick Stewart is a knight and Google did do the search engine for Yahoo for many years.
Interesting. Leo, how do you, just out of curiosity, when you're reading the chat room and you're doing the show, I mean, do you find it one of those things like people would get so distracted by that? But
no, I have them jacked into the back of my head now. I got this port put in. And so now
cool.
it just kind of scrolls through my eyeballs pretty much 24/7.
Well, that's pretty interesting.
It's kind of like,
you need to get out more. I'm sorry.
I feel like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. The chat.
No, it's good. They keep you in line. It's a great resource to be able to go and get information. But I know I've had the chat room open a couple of times when we've been doing the show, but I get sort of sucked into it.
I've somehow internalized it, and really, well, the truth is, and I've told them this, so I'm not breaking any confidences here, but the chat room is my brain. I have actually externalized my brain.
That's handy.
Yeah, so everything that I once knew, they now know.
Great.
Yeah, so I don't have to remember anything. I just go, chat room, and then they answer you. Yes, Leo, the Magna Carta was signed in 1066, or whatever.
You can just kind of wipe your mind clean every night, pretty much?
Yeah, every night. Every 3 or 4 seconds. I start fresh. Hello? Actually, the Magna Carta was signed in 1023. 1066 was the conquering of England by William the Conqueror. Thank you for correcting me. Let's move on, shall we? My brain's a little snarky sometimes.
Okay.
Hey, before we do this, and actually, I'm a little excited about this next story. But I do want to mention GoToMeeting before we get too caught up, because we've got a great guest and all this. And you know how it is with me. I'll just forget to do any commercials. And we have to pay the bills, as they say. And thank goodness for the folks at Citrix, who are such big supporters of everything we do on the network, on TWiT. They buy ads on almost all of our shows. And we're glad to do it because, frankly, I've been using their stuff since long before TWiT was born. Since back in the days of the screensavers, I've been using GoToMyPC, GoToMeeting, GoToAssist, Citrix Enterprise. Ed Yacobucci, the guy who started Citrix, is a good friend. I mean, this is a great company with a great heritage. If you are right now doing meetings by either traveling, which is insane, hugely costly, or by teleconferencing, you might want to take a look at GoToMeeting. GoToMeeting takes those conference calls that you're on. They're so boring, and you could just tell somebody's off playing StarCraft 2. They're not paying any attention at all, or maybe they're just daydreaming about what they're going to have for dinner. It's just not productive. People hang up feeling like, what was that all about? That conference call was a waste of time. Well, with GoToMeeting, suddenly your time is used so effectively. First of all, because it's visual. And a lot of us, when there's nothing to look at, we just kind of drift off. But if there's something to see, a chart, a diagram, numbers, a spreadsheet, even a word processing document, it brings us back into the present. It engages us. It's from your computer. So here's what you do. You go to GoToMeeting right now, gotomeeting.com/night. And 30 seconds later to have the software installed. It doesn't cost. It's free for the first 30 days. So just, this is an easy way to try it out. GoToMeeting.com/night. Now, the next time you're on that conference call, here's what you do. You tell the attendees, okay, I've set this up. Go to the website, gotomeeting.com. Here's the meeting ID. You give them the number. They type it in. Boom. 30 seconds later, they're seeing.
So easy.
It's really easy. They don't have to have anything installed ahead of time. They're seeing your computer on their screen, your PowerPoint or Keynote presentation, because it's Mac or PC, your documents, your storyboards, whatever it is you're working on together. They'll breathe a sigh of relief, and you'll get your meetings done more effectively. I want you to try it right now. 30 days free. GoToMeeting.com/night. GoToMeeting.com/NIGHT. Up to 15 people in a meeting. You could trade control from around, so everybody gets a chance to show their screen if you want. Collaborate, train, sell. Mac or PC. 128-bit SSL, 24/7 support, and it's free for the first 30 days. GoToMeeting.com/night. We do thank them for their support. So have you read The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo?
No, because I'm going to be downloading it to listen to on our drive back to Toronto because you recommended it. So It sounds like a good one.
I think you and Chris will both like it. I don't know if Connor will really appreciate the nuances.
Probably not. He'll probably fall asleep.
But it's a murder mystery. It's really well done. It's got a bunch of twists in it. It's quite good. And apparently, it is quite successful.
Yes, the author of that book, I think there's 2 others perhaps in the series.
It's a trilogy, the Millennium Trilogy. And he's gone, by the way. Stieg Larsson is dead.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Well, he is experiencing some great success.
Posthumously.
With how many of his books have been sold on the Amazon Kindle. So he's the first author ever to reach more than 1 million downloads sold on the Kindle. So he's reached the, I think they're calling it the Million Kindle Club or something like that, because his books have been so successful. So good.
It's a small club.
It's a small club. It's just him. I mean, eventually, hopefully, there'll be some more people to join him up there. But he is the first one for now. And it kind of plays on our story that we talked about last week when we were talking about how many books are being downloaded online, and how for the first time ever it surpassed hardcover books on Amazon. So. Pretty impressive.
You're gonna love it, and actually, I bought it on the Kindle as well as listening to it on Audible.com, and now I've bought the next 2, which is The Girl Who Played with Fire and The Girl Who Killed the Hornet's Nest. But you know what, you'll like it. There are 2 heroes, and one of them is a woman and is a hacker and is really tough and great and strong, it's just great.
Yeah, is it set in Stockholm in Sweden?
Am
I correct?
Not Stockholm. It's in Sweden. Yeah, but most of it takes place in I think fictional island called Hedeby, which reminds me a lot of PEI.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I was reading up about it, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, and this has a Swedish. It's related to our Swedish fascination.
It's the dark side of Sweden. See, you and I think of Sweden as this perfect, wholesome, happy place, but it's really kind of in this book anyway. This is the dark side.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. There is kind of that dark side. There's, I can't remember the name of the band. I want to say maybe it's the Teddy Bears. But I was talking to you about Swedish music many, many months ago, and there's a couple of songs from them that are a little bit quirky, and they sort of have this weird kind of dark side to them. So it doesn't really surprise me that much.
Now they're asking me in the chat room, and yes, I have seen. There's a Swedish version of the book, a Swedish movie version of the book, which is equally dark and also changes the ending a little bit. So don't watch it until you've read the book. I think you should always read the book first. But then the other thing that is interesting is that there is going to be an American version of it made, and guess who's going to star in that? Do you like Daniel Craig, James Bond?
Yeah.
Love him with the ears like this. I love him.
Yeah, he's great.
So
he's going to star in it.
Yeah, I don't know who they've picked for the female lead, because that's actually a very important role as well. So I don't know who will be doing that. But
that'll be interesting. Yeah. I haven't seen a movie in a long time, but I just saw Inception recently.
What'd you think of that?
I liked it. At first I was a little bit skeptical of the whole premise, that it takes place literally within a dream, within a dream, within a dream. But
no spoilers now. No spoilers.
No, I won't. But I think you get sucked into it. I think I know he's cute, but I have to say I think Leonardo DiCaprio is a good actor as well. So I don't mind watching him.
I loved the story, but and I hope this won't spoil it. I know a lot of people really loved the movie, but it's almost all exposition because it's so complicated that almost the entire movie is characters saying, well, let me explain what's about to happen or what happened or how.
That's true.
Because it's so complicated that it's not the kind of movie that you can sit back and go for a ride.
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, you have to pay attention and you have to be alert when you're watching it. You don't want to miss anything. But you're exactly right. They do have to kind of explain what's going on. Oh, because, Ellen Page will turn and say, oh, you mean it's like this?
Right. And we know nothing about Ellen Page as a result because they're spending so much time explaining what's going on. I love her, but you don't really get to know the characters all that well because they're talking about what the very complex plot.
I know. I love her too. I mean, she's also
she's
from
so
the Maritimes. But I thought she was kind of a weird.
She's Canadian too?
Yeah, she's from Halifax.
God, all the best people are Canadian.
I thought she was a weird fit for the movie, though. Not that we're going to go on and on about the movie forever, but I just thought
very
it was
weird. Yeah.
It was a very strange fit, I thought.
He was right. I'm not sure about his. Oh, we can't talk about it because we'll spoil it. But
anyway, it's worth.
Look, folks, go see the movie, then come back. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, let us know.
I'm not unrecommending it. I think it's worth seeing. I think a lot of people loved it, but I thought it could be better.
Yeah, and you do need to pay attention,
Yeah. Well, I don't mind that. I like complicated movies. I like.
You weren't on your iPad, Leo?
No, I wasn't.
Okay,
how did we get on that? Oh, Daniel Craig. We were talking about the girl with the dragon tattoo, and they were going to make a movie out of it. All right. Pulse of a Nation. What is this?
Yeah, this is kind of interesting. This is the study that was done, and it's from Northwestern University and Harvard. And the idea behind it is they analyzed more than 300 million tweets from September 2006 to August 2009 and figured out, based on the tweets, where people were the happiest across America and what days they were the saddest. For instance, people would think that on Monday people were the grumpiest, but actually it's on Thursday based on all of these tweets. And the list goes on as far as the information they really kind of pulled out of their analysis. I mean, it's not too scientific, but I think it was a kind of a fun study to read through. And you
it
can see
actually
all
makes
these
a lot of
graphs on their website.
sense if you think about it, because people do reveal themselves on Twitter, don't they?
Yeah, they really do. And another thing, like I mentioned, they talk about where people were happy. They said people were consistently happy in Hawaii, and most miserable in Mississippi and Alaska based on tweets.
It's interesting because as the night goes by, people get less and less happy.
Oh, I'm sure, late at night. No, nighttime's a lonely time for some people.
It's sad. But then they get happy again as the morning sun comes up, and they start to get happier. And so they've got a picture of the U.S. with different colors and a time lapse, and you can see how red is unhappy, green is happy. Now everybody's unhappy again about 3 in the afternoon because they're at work. Unless they're in Florida, then they're not so unhappy. People in Florida and California seem to be happier than people in...
I think it's the sunshine.
Nobody in New York is happy ever, it looks like. New York is just full of unhappy people. Look at it. It's just red the whole time.
I know.
Isn't that interesting?
It's kind of fun because you've seen these studies come out before where they talked about, they talk about where the happiest people are in America, and I've never seen it actually based on Twitter messages.
But that's an example of the value of the Twitter database. I mean, people sometimes trivialize Twitter and say, "Oh, it's what you had for lunch. Who cares?" But really, there's a huge amount, especially now that there's millions of tweets every second.
I know. That's what I thought was kind of interesting. So 300 million tweets. The study was based on this between September 2006 and August 2009. But there was just a stat that came out recently that said there are now 2 billion tweets a month on Twitter. Wow. So look how much Twitter has grown, just in 2010.
That is truly amazing.
I wonder if people are unhappier now.
Well, I also wonder.
Do another study.
I think the Twitter universe is changing, right? I mean, who's on Twitter now is probably different than who was on Twitter in 2006.
Oh, I think it's changing a lot.
I wonder if people are happier or less happy these days.
Or if it's just scaled perfectly. Who knows?
Yeah. And I think you should also look at it by season. But look at New York State. The only time anybody's happy in New York State is about 6 in the morning.
Because there's no one up.
There's nobody awake. Isn't that weird? So
it is a little weird.
Yeah, it's one thing that jumps out at me. I guess because my daughter's going to be going to college there, but it just does not look like it ever gets too happy in New York State.
I know, it's funny to look at, like you said, for California, how it's pretty happy most of the time.
I think it's tied to climate.
I think it must be just sunshine and climate. I mean, if you look at it and you think Hawaii is the happiest place, and one of the most miserable places is Alaska, I'm just guessing
climate.
that it has something to do with climate.
That's climate. That's really climate. Very interesting. I love that. And that's actually an academic study. I think we'll see probably a lot more of that kind of thing.
I think so too. People are kind of figuring out what they can do with the content, and usually we find it's used for, selling something, or corporations are kind of analyzing information. But it's nice to, like you said, to see it done for an academic study, and I hope they keep doing things like that because it's just fun to look at all the different graphs and charts.
It's hard to normalize for that, though, and maybe all we're seeing is that New Yorkers are more willing to gripe than like Canadians. I bet you Canada's happy all the time, not because Canadians are happier, but because you guys are too polite to gripe. Canadians are not known for complaints.
No, I don't think it's a nation that, well, I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't. We don't complain all that much. But you know what, Leo? We also have things pretty good here in Canada.
Yeah. Now, if they did this with Brits, because Britons are known to be whinging palms, they call them in Australia. And so they're just going to lose all 20 people that listen to us in Britain are now going,
I hate you, Leo. I hate you. I'm going to whine about you on Twitter now. You're such a loser. We've got Felicia Day coming up in just a little bit. We're going to talk to her. Before we do, though, can I talk about Squarespace? I know you know a little bit about Squarespace. Chris Dick, your partner, has a great site, chrisdick.com.
Yeah, he's been using it a lot, and I always recommend it to people. It is kind of my go-to website for anyone who wants to know how to build a site or a blog and wants an easy interface to be able to do it, and something that is really inexpensive as well.
Now, Chris has posted your power friending promo video, Dexter, the play on Dexter on here. Did you, when you publicized this, did it bring the site down? I mean, how has it been? I'm told that one of the things that's great about Squarespace, their VPS server technology gives you just kind of bandwidth on demand as needed.
Oh, exactly. I think it's been really steady for him, and he's had absolutely no complaints about it. And to be honest with you, he's one of these people, if he uses a tool and he doesn't like it, he's very critical of it. Yeah. But he has had only good things to say about Squarespace. His whole experience with it has been wonderful.
Everybody go right now to chrisdick.com, CHRISDICK.com. That's Amber's partner site. It's a great photo site, lots of beautiful photo essays. I mean, he's really talented. Let's see if we can bring Squarespace to its knees. I don't even have to think about it. I know.
I got to go there too.
Squarespace.com. It's the place where great websites begin. And if you use the Net at Night coupon code for Squarespace.com, you're going to get 10% off your Squarespace site for the life of the site. Just go to squarespace.com/night. You go there right now. You could try it for free for 15 days. Why do we like Squarespace? Well, it's both web hosting and the software that runs behind the scenes, the content management system that is so powerful. You could try it for 15 days, even import your blog from movable type WordPress, TypePad, or Blogger right in there. You can export it out too. You're never trapped. The iPhone app, the stats, the seamless integration of social media, all of it makes this just incredible. But I think the thing I always end up coming back to is Squarespace sites look gorgeous. I'm sure that's what Chris cares about too. He's a photographer.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And, lots of other people use it. I know Clayton Morris uses it, and I love his site. It's really friendly. I think Sarah Lane uses it as well. And just all around,
Kevin Rose,
there's no tool that compares.
Yeah. Well, let's just see. I'm gonna see if we've been able to bring Chris's site to its knees. Let's reload. See how fast that was?
I know. You can't.
You can't bring it down.
You can't.
Boom.
There's no way.
Boom. We bring down sites routinely every day on this show. And one thing I know is we've never brought a Squarespace site down. Prices are very affordable. Starts at $6 a month, which is a great deal. That's for the basic package, all the way up to the community package. $50 a month, but look what you get. You get 5 gigs of storage, 400 gigs a month of bandwidth, URL shortcuts, 6 custom audiences. That custom audience thing is really intriguing to me. You can have the site look different for different audiences. How about that?
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
Unlimited editors, unlimited members. That's the top of the line, but it starts at $8 and 10% off for life when you use the offer code NIGHT. Squarespace.
Pretty good deal.
It really is a good deal. Love them.
I love how Chris, I was just looking because I know he just updated his site. I love how he has the texter video and he doesn't write any copy at all. He just talks about the specifications of what it's shot on.
That's typical of him, isn't it?
The lenses.
Yeah, that's Chris right there. Yeah. Wait, I got to show you. I got to show you that. Yeah, this is a promo video and it was shot on and this is how we shot it.
Nothing about my book or anything, just here.
Yeah, he doesn't even link to your book.
I know.
We got to talk to Chris about that.
I'll talk to him after the show. Don't worry, Leo.
Chris, if you're going to give me a plug, at least give me a link. He'll make some money. Use the Amazon code,
Exactly.
Right, I'm going to call Felicia now. I'm so excited. I'm a little starstruck if you know. And again, let me just underscore that Felicia's just back from 2 days of Comic-Con where she probably talked non-stop for 48 hours. So we're not going to put her through the her paces here.
I'm sure she's exhausted. It looked like a pretty busy event for everyone there.
Hi, Felicia. Hello? How are you?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you great. You look great. And I know you're probably exhausted from Comic-Con.
Oh, boy. I didn't think I'd wake up with a voice, but it actually is working a little bit better today. So,
you sound you do sound a little bit hoarse. That's hard for a singer, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's most hard because I have to do ADR for my sci-fi movie Red tomorrow. So I'm like, to keep the voice preciously taken care of.
Okay,
You can just nod, maybe.
Yeah, we'll ask you yes, no questions. You just nod,
I'm
shake
all right.
your head.
So you're celebrating your third anniversary of the Guild. It seems like it's been a lot longer than that. You've done so much in the past 3 years. So what has the whole experience been like for you? It's just a big, quick rise to success.
I guess 3 years isn't very quick, but it feels like yesterday. I didn't even actually know it was our anniversary until Brian Kamioka, who does our Guild Twitter, noticed that was the first upload date. So, I mean, if you really think about it, I've been doing this show for like 3.5 years because I wrote the script at the very beginning of that year, 2007. So, I don't know. It's just been a whirlwind, but we keep getting bigger. So I couldn't be more grateful and happy. It's just every day is just a gift.
Felicia, are you wearing your World of Warcraft headphones right now?
Yes.
She is. So this is no phony, folks. She really is a geek.
These are really sweet. These are sweet if they light up. I don't know how to get them to light up, but they do cycle colors.
The chat room said,
perfect.
I think those are World of Warcraft headphones. Yes, they are.
Yeah, they are. They're really cool, right?
Yes, super cool. You just won, if you hadn't already, the hearts of thousands of people going, okay, she's cool.
Excellent.
It's an interesting position to be in as both a mainstream actor and performer and a geek icon.
Yes. I mean, I don't know if I'm an icon, but I guess I'm
Yeah, you are. Everybody wants to date your avatar.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I kind of reached critical mass after that video, which is great because, that was just kind of a whim. And I got Jed Whedon on board from Dr. Horrible to do that video.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he directed it, which was the first thing he ever directed, and he co-wrote the song with me. So it was an amazing, just like, hey, let's do this together. And we just got all the pieces together to make the video. So when this year, my producer Kim was like, let's make another music video, I was scared to death. I was like, what? Why do you want to do that? How can we ever do anything close to Avatar? But we just released a new music video today called Game On, and we went so far in a different direction that I think we kind of pulled off at least something different that I'm really, really proud of.
We're going to show that at the end of the show so everybody can,
cool.
can see it. This is Date My
really
Avatar.
sweet.
It's such a cute video. I just love it.
It's such a great video.
Yeah.
I know. And you know what's interesting? I think that video, if I'm right, Felicia, did that not do really well on iTunes, which was kind of a surprise, sort of came out of left field.
People bought it.
Leo.
Yeah,
That was
people
so sweet
bought
of you.
it. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not alone, obviously.
Yeah, we actually made the #1 video on iTunes, and we were the top MP3 a bunch of places like Amazon. We didn't. We got pretty far up there on iTunes as well. There was some ingestion problems, so we didn't get the MP3 there on the first day of launch. So that kind of hampered stuff. But we were #1 MP3 on Amazon for a week. And the #1 video, and it was just so awesome because we have no label, we don't pay for any advertising, so I love it when we kind of beat the man like that. It's kind of why I do what I do.
Did you? I mean, I think probably there's a perception that maybe you started doing the Guild because you couldn't work as an actor, or you weren't. I mean, you were of course in Buffy and everything, but I mean, was the Guild kind of, all right, I'm going to do my own thing, or why did you start doing the Guild?
Yeah, I've always made a good living in acting, especially in commercials. That's in the slow years when I didn't do as much TV work, the commercials pulled me through, and I've been really lucky to get really awesome spots and work with great directors. But I've always worked in TV and guest spots, and it supported myself well. But at a certain point, I was just kind of bored. And in Hollywood, they have to figure out the one thing that you do, and then they hire you to do that over and over again.
Right.
And that kind of became the quirky secretary role with the glasses and the scared expression. That kind of became my specialty. And that's fun, but I felt like, I was kind of creatively bored. So I just sat down and wrote something about an area that I knew something about, because I always say that if you're going to write something, write what you know. And I knew online gaming because that's what I've been doing since I was 8, dialing up to local bulletin boards and doing MUDs and stuff.
I think that's the secret to the success of this is everybody knows it's genuine. It's not and I'm not going to name names, but there's some people in Hollywood who've jumped on the bandwagon and everybody goes poser. It's clear you're not a poser. This is you actually are into this stuff. You're wearing your freaking World of Warcraft headphones for crying out loud.
Oh, I totally didn't even remember that. I was just well, it'll be better sound if I wear my headphones.
No, you're right. So you started in text MUDs?
Yeah, I used to dial up when I was like 12 and 13.
Holy cow.
I mean, I was on Prodigy. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like, that was my live chat. We'd post a message, and 5 minutes later, somebody would respond, and that was live on Saturday nights. So it's crazy how far technology has come, and how I wish I was 12 now, because I'd have a great online life.
Well, it's better than being on the Sears Blue appliance crew, I have to say.
Hey,
there she is, selling a washing machine.
That got me through a whole year.
That's good money.
Supported me doing the Guild.
Absolutely, good money. Now the Guild's got to be profitable at this point, right?
You know, I'm actually able to make this my full-time job. Yay. Along with the acting things I do. Yay. So every day it's a full-time job. Like me and Kim Evie, my producer, we have to do this all day, every day, because web series, unlike kind of regular TV shows, we aren't able to hire staff. So we do everything ourselves. So even when we're not releasing episodes or making a DVD or doing post-production or prepping for a season or writing the season, we have to constantly maintain our community and be out there, because the cool thing about the web series is that people will find it when they find it. It's not like they're going to find it during our season. They're going to find it on Netflix as a movie. They're going to download it on Xbox. So it's a blessing to have this kind of community that always carries us through. It's kind of why I wake up and get online, just to see what's going on. I know it's probably
no, girlfriend, I totally know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. You're the same way. You
totally
are inspiring. Like, you're doing things independently and you're thriving because there's a community of people who enjoy what you do, and you're not waiting for permission to do it. Like, that's what I love doing. Like, I'm not waiting for somebody to call me up and give me permission to make my show, except for like funding it, which I've been lucky to be working with people to fund it for 3 years now.
You have to sell it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. How has it changed, Felicia, as far as, you say you're still busy and writing everything, but in the past 3 years, has it gotten easier for you in the sense that you do have a little bit more funding to work on the show, or has the production really been kind of the same since you guys started out?
No. Our first year, we self-funded a couple episodes, and then PayPal funded, viewers funded it. I always be like grateful to those donors who funded like 8 episodes and got us through the whole first season. Yeah, but we only paid expenses. So the cool thing is, when Microsoft and Sprint came through and didn't want to own the show, they just kind of let us make it, and they have the first exclusivity window. It was a dream come true, and we can actually pay our crew and our cast up front now versus paying them on the back end when the DVD comes out. So that's really enabled us to keep going as long as we have. And I hope that other web series are able to do the same thing, because independent voices, I think, are really, really important. So it's gotten, the one thing for me as a creator, it's like a lot of pressure. So like the whole 4th season was really hard for me to write, because I felt all this pressure, because the more successful the show is, the more people are like, well, they're not gonna be able to top that. Or, you don't want to bore people or do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I hate to, I shouldn't probably be talking about that, but it's a lot of pressure.
Do you have a thing for washing machines? Because here you are and Dr. Horrible with another washing machine. I don't understand that.
I just, the funny thing, Leo, is that I did a My Boys episode last year.
Yeah.
And the big scene was me at a laundromat again.
That's awesome.
That's just a coincidence, I'm sure.
I'm very clean.
That's good. That's good. Do you ever have a temptation to sort of leave the online world and maybe do more mainstream things like movies or more television? Or do you think you always want to kind of bridge those two worlds?
I mean, to be honest with you, there's not like people breaking down my door to hire me.
Well, you're doing Eureka, right? Now. You're doing Eureka.
Yes, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, now I'm doing, I did a sci-fi TV movie called Red, which I'm doing ADR for tomorrow, which is me killing werewolves. And then Eureka, we just announced this weekend at Comic-Con that I'll be doing a big recurring part on that. So the cool thing is that the offers that I get are people who are fans of what I do, and I'm a fan of them. Like, I'm a huge fan of Eureka. So that's what's cool. And when somebody calls me up to do a voice in a video game or something, I am a huge fan of that. So I'm getting to do anything that I'm a fangirling out over, which is kind of the best career ever, I think.
Yeah, this is why it works, because instead of being typecast and doing washing machines or whatever it was, you said I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to make my own thing. And now it's working, and you get to write your own ticket, which is so much better.
Yeah, it's sort of self-perpetuating now, because I'm doing what I really love, and the people who love what I do are the same people who love what I'm doing. So it's creating a whole world outside of the place that kind of rejected me for so many years.
It's very hard in Hollywood to get to do that, and for you to get to do that is such a victory for all of us.
Yeah, well, it's only because
it
people
really is.
support the show. Like
Yeah.
like I said, we have no advertising, so people supporting us is
Right.
all that gets us through. And when we go to Comic-Con and have like 2-hour lines for signings, like I'm so grateful.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, it was an amazing weekend.
How do you deal with all of the community that you've built up? Because I can't imagine, you have so many people following you, more than 1 million on Twitter, and all the people who must be reaching out and on Facebook and other places. How do you manage all of that? Because I'm sure it's a struggle. And I mean, it's a great thing, but it's still a lot of work.
Yeah, it is a constant day-to-day upkeep. And we actually have, at a certain point earlier this year, I felt like I was neglecting the Guild Twitter and Facebook because I wasn't able to do everything at once. So we actually have somebody who helps us do that, Brian Kamioka, who is just awesome. And he really knows the fans all personally and knows how to interact and and be able to phrase everything and really be organic to the show, to the spirit of what I do. And so he's a great addition to our team. But yeah, you're right. At a certain point, it's gotten so big that I can't write every episode and co-produce every episode and do all the marketing and all the fan outreach and my own stuff as well. So yeah, we're growing pains. It's like, what can we afford to add to the team on our web budget that will continue to maintain our level of commitment to our fans and our community and to the show itself.
You like to read. I follow you on Goodreads.
Oh,
She's a big reader, folks.
Yeah. It's actually my passion, like reading
I could tell.
kind of cheesy, but not cheesy, but
Fantasy
genre
stuff.
fiction.
Yeah, you like fantasy.
And bodice rippers a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
You like those too, Leo?
No. But if I ever do read Bodice Rippers, I'll go right here, goodreads.com/Felicia Day, and I'll pick your favorites. You were homeschooled. Do you think that the fact that you were homeschooled made you a little quirky, made you more powerful in this space? Did it impact what you do?
Well, it definitely, moving around so much, the internet became my socialization place.
Right.
So I didn't really have a choice. Even though there was no internet when I was a kid, it was whatever was online. That was my social
Prodigy.
world.
That's
Prodigy,
sad.
exactly. I know, it's so old school. I'm going to be like an old woman. Remember, and I dialed up and it went boop, 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 beep, beep, beep. Yeah, and I did. The good thing about being homeschooled is that I was raised not seeing people, the parameters of people as far as race and age and background. I just treated people like people, and I was always raised kind of as an adult. So in a sense, I didn't get the traditional barriers that people are.
Yeah.
And that's why I love gaming, is that if you look at our cast, we're very racially diverse, age diverse, background diverse, and yet we're friends. And that's what I love about the internet, is that you can have friends that you normally, if you saw them in a room, you wouldn't approach them to talk to them because you wouldn't think you have stuff in common. But in the guild, like in real life, the online world brings people together. And I love that because it's more about who you are versus what you look like.
Now, it seems like you're doing your dream job right now. I mean, you have so much on the go. But is there anything else out there that you're working on, past season 4 of the Guild that's got you really excited, or a big project that you can tell us about?
Yeah, I mean, Eureka I'm really excited about because that show is really sci-fi humor. It's perfect. And I'm so excited to go try to work on that set. And I met all the actors and the writers at Comic-Con. They're so nice. So that's exciting. I'm actually working on another web series right now. And I wish I could announce what it is, but it's so exciting to be able to work on something in between Guild seasons. So as soon as I can announce that, I will, but it'll be a little while. But I'm writing it right now, and I'm super excited about
Oh, that's going to be awesome. Very cool.
Because, Kim and I, there's some amazing web series coming out. I feel like the whole genre is maturing, and there's going to be some really good stuff coming out. And Kim and I really want to branch out and do other series and help other people do their own work, as well as, creatively work in other spaces as well. So I'm doing that at the same time as writing more Guild comics. Because the comic did so well for us. I decided to do 5 more episodes or issues.
You like writing?
So, I do. I love and hate it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you like it. Do you, but
as I think it was Oscar Wilde said, I enjoy having written.
Yes, that's exactly what I feel. Yeah, it just requires a lot of bravery. I think bravery to be bad.
Yeah.
And put out down on the page and know that the work will come after you got the first draft down.
Right. or
Very good.
3rd.
Felicia, I have to ask, with the new web series, do you have a time frame when you're going to announce it, just to give people a sense of, like, is it 6 months when you can talk about it? Or
No, we should be shooting later this fall, so it'll probably be a month or so, and I'll be able to announce something else, because I've got to get I don't want too long to go between Guild season 4 and 5. So it's a lot. I've never scheduled my life so far in advance ever than the last 6 months. Like, now the rest of the year is gone. I don't know if I like it.
Are you going
Well,
to work with Joss again? Because Dr. Horrible was so great. It was so much fun. I'd love to see more like that.
I would love to work with Joss, and I'm the luckiest girl in the world. He keeps having me back.
Yep.
I was just they did a special Dollhouse comic that goes in the Dollhouse DVD, and I'm like on the cover of it, and I didn't even know until I got to Comic-Con. I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Is this the cover? I don't know. No. Okay, I guess not.
Oh, that's from next week episode of The Guild, and we premiered it at Comic-Con. We gave out buttons, and it was the most expensive promotional item we've ever given out in The Guild, the buttons. But I was so laughing when I saw it on people's lanyards. So you'll see where that painting exists next week. And those are really my boobs. Not really.
And that's really Will Wheaton's sword.
And chest
Not really.
and man nipple.
Yeah, not really. It's so good to talk to you. I want to protect your voice.
Oh, well, thank you.
I know you've got work to do, and we're just so thrilled that you were here, and I hope you'll come back and say hi again.
Yeah. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much, Felicia.
No, I'm a huge fan. You're an indie person like me, so I'm a huge fan of you too, Leo.
We love what
and
you're
Amber.
doing. Yep.
Okay, guys.
Can
bye.
I play I'm going to play the video.
Yeah.
Felicia Day, anything you want to say before we play the video?
No, just thank you very much for watching anything I do. And
Watch theguild.com. Felicia Day, thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Oh,
Thanks
that's not
so
it.
much.
I keep
Bye-bye.
going back to that image. I don't know why. It's a great image.
Too much. People say it's weird. We should cut back.
That's insane.
What are you doing?
I'm convincing you to play it through song.
It's not gonna work.
It's a little Bollywood, I think. Oh, boy.
Boot up, embrace the feeling. The start button is the portal to your being. Turn on, it's a pleasure device. Game with me, it's the ultimate spice. I promise you it won't ever be dull. In a world you're all powerful. Above you, don't be afraid. It's Tuesday night, let's do this raid. Game on, isn't immature. Game on, I'm insecure. Game on, don't you quit on me. We got keyboard chemistry.
I feel so much shame. I get dissed for saying that I'm game. No one understands why I'm living in a fantasy land.
In game, you've got cool hair. Go from some dog to a millionaire. Level up, feel the bliss. / almost kiss. Game on, invite sent. Game on, hop on red. Game on, say it proud. Game on,
Screw the crowd.
game on,
No one else to please.
game on. I'll press your hotkey.
There's no disgrace.
Go to hell, real life. I'll punch you in the face.
Must have been fun shooting this.
Game on. Game on. No permadeath. Game on. Don't resist. Game on. Give that bulb a twist.
Internet savvy dish go to da hey frustration economic rasta hey volunteering a gooch for an hey full of char control alt delete.
I let me when the party it sizzles. Won't let the spell fizzle.
Grab the reins, don't re-roll. Point and click, take control. Game on. No disrespect. Game on.
We're not rejects. No remorse.
This isn't feeling is free.
Wow.
Okay, that worked. Let's play.
Awesome. So what do I do with these guys? Because I paid for a full hour.
Season 4 of The Guild. WatchTheGuild.com. That is really a great way to get people to watch, I think. Felicia Day and the cast of The Guild. Boy, isn't that, she really is, I think, it's hard to describe it, but it's genuine geekiness. And so she's made it okay and so cool to be a geek. And I just think that it's really interesting to watch that happen,
Yeah, I mean, she's so authentic in everything that she does, and she's so sweet and gracious, and
But it's not phony. It's not phony geekiness. They're really talking about something they do. They are part of this, and she makes it, I think, for a whole generation of people, okay to be the way we are. She gives us permission.
Yeah, she really does. She's a huge inspiration.
That's awesome. And that wraps up the show, Amber MacArthur.
All right, Leo. Well, I will see you next week.
Amber is an inspiration to us all. CommandN.tv is the place to go to watch her video podcast each and every week. Boy, the best edited podcast on video anywhere. You just got to watch it. Shot and edited, thanks to Chris. Also, of course, Web Nation on CP24. Anything else? Oh, yeah, there's this book, Power Friending, available everywhere. Run out and get a copy.
Yeah, it's on the Kindle, too. So now that we're talking about Kindle, you can get it on the Kindle.
Now you can go after Stieg Larsson.
Yeah. I'm on my way, Leo.
All right. Amber MacArthur, great to talk to you. We'll see you next time on Net at Night.
Thanks, Leo.
Bye-bye.